Hello everyone. My name is Ultrasonic Lightning BLUESPEED. I live in a world where power is used for anything: destruction, hate, protection, guidance. A lot of stuff has happened to me ever since I got superpowers. This is my story on how I became the greatest supernatural being in the universe. This is my awakening. Years ago, I would go around the entire US country and liberate every single lab that did illegal testing on matter users. They were essentially the name given to those that could manipulate matter and some forms of energy. What I didn't know was that I was one of them. A few years later, I finally got myself enrolled into a school. I was around 10 years old at the time. Yeah, sure. Went to 11 pal the 5th of July. 2011. I'm in the train that is headed to Electronic Central as I'm meeting one of my best friends there to hang out with. I'm writing in my notebook of analysis that I could use for the future. And be able to easily beat someone if I run into a familiar foe with a similar power type that I've got noted. My writing gets disturbed by the train's text-to-speech in the underground tunnel where I finally arrive at Electrical Central Station. One of the main station hubs of Electronic Center. Electronic Center was a pretty big city, possibly the size of New York or even Manhattan combined. I wait for my friend but he doesn't show up. Maybe he's waiting outside for me. When I'm about to head up, my friend attempts to scare me. Boo, Max says sarcastically. Why am I not surprised he'd try that stunt on me? Oh, I say with a predictable face. It's just you. Max Dragonsteel was unusual when it came to humans. Since he was born as a demon, a race born to hate humans and cause violence no matter the consequences of their actions. I didn't know what Max could do at the time, so that was still a mystery. Anyway, how have you been? He asks happily. Everything's been going great actually. And you're looking at the new AU High student, I say with confidence. Damn man, I didn't know you'd actually get in, Max says with shock. AU High was a high school dedicated to those who want to be heroes. Usually you need to have a superpower or at least a gene that gives you superpowers. But somehow I got accepted. The question was, how did I get accepted in the first place? I have neither of those things. So how? Well, I was gonna find out sooner or later. Yeah, I was surprised as well, maximum I say. At least you'll be able to see me around the place and not just here. I mean, it wasn't that much of a surprise. I usually only see Max whenever I hang out with him. Not this kind of stuff. Actually Ultra. Where is it that you want to go? Max asks me. Since it was me who wanted to do this thing. I don't honestly have a clue on where to go and all. This is what I get for not planning ahead of time. I don't know Max. I suppose I could just figure that out on the fly, I tell him nervously. Max wasn't surprised at all with that response. Come on you so-called adapter. Let's fucking go already, he tells me angrily. I never usually hear him like that, ever. What was this dude's problem with that? Well, no fair, wait for me, I yell while chasing him outside the subway station. The 6th of September 2011. It was time for me to go to AU. This was the school that Max had told me about. While he didn't tell me much about it, he did tell me that it was the most popular school for upcoming heroes. Including some other stuff that I didn't know about at the time. When I arrived, I didn't realize the time and I had just barely made it, gasping my breath after running to Max. Max, I shout to him, gasping for air after running to the school. CN, man was out of breath, not begging for air. Dude, are you okay? You sound like you just ran a marathon, Max asked worried. But I'll laugh in response cause of how silly his joke was. That was a good one, man, I say to Max. Recovering from my breath. Max told me that I would need to head to the principal's office, wherever the fuck that was. Once I got close I could hear a voice inside, but it was too hard to figure out. After I knocked on the door they stopped their rambling and allowed me in. You must be Ultrasonic BLUESPEED, right? The principal asked me. I nod in response. Okay, so we got the right person, he says with relief. There are many people that are always trying to impersonate famous people or even infamous people. I put my hand in my blue jacket, not giving a single fuck. Oh, I feel you there, sir. Trying to make sure you have the right person when they're famous and people are trying to impersonate them, I tell him with frustration. Empathy has been a pretty strong fact about me since I settled into electronic center. It allowed me to help those that had bad moments in their lifetime or hell even struggling with some tough situations for them. I have another student coming into this room as we speak and she going to be here soon. She? I think to myself, why is a girl coming here? I did want Max to show me around but I guess that could work. So what is this you want? Cause I don't have time for this, a voice said. I turn around to see a cute blonde-haired girl behind me, annoyed that she had been dragged out of her lessons. Who in the I say to myself after seeing her at the door. Oh, right. Ultra, this is Evelyn. Evelyn is one of our most known students in AU. Hope you both get along, the principal tells you. Okay, now that we're acquainted with each other. Why the hell did you drag me out of my lessons? She asked, frustrated. I could see the frustration in her eyes. Sounds like she wasn't used to stuff like this before. Okay, fine then Eve, I'll tell you, he says to her, defeated. I need you to tour our new student Ultra around. I know it makes you mad doing this kind of stuff but please Evelyn, she sighs. Alright fine, she yells. Okay, Ultra. I'm sure you already know this but what's your tone? She doesn't like this kind of stuff, the principal tells you. Don't worry. I'll make sure she stays in check, I tell him, and then look at Evelyn. She gave me a death stare like she was actually going to kill me. So, Evelyn is it? I asked, trying to be kind. She wasn't expecting me to be different than anyone else. Hasn't Max told me about you? She asks. I had almost no idea what she was talking about. Max who? There's millions of Maxes in this world, I tell her, and she giggles at my comment. Dragonsteel. He told me a lot about you on how you saved him, she tells you, which immediately told you that Max Dragonsteel has been talking to her about you. Oh, you're on about the green one, we're both really close with each other. You tell her. Come on Ultra and I'll show you around, she says before grabbing your arm like a little kid. I don't even get a second to react, she lets me go afterwards. Sorry about that, I kind of have a habit of grabbing people's arms like a little kid. Ultra, she says to you, a little tense. It looked like that she hadn't felt like this in years. It's okay kiddo, I've had that habit. You tell her with your adorable smile. After she toured you around the school, well, I have to admit, you're actually a really nice friend. Max was right after all, she says, same as you, but I was wondering. What was with the death stare earlier? You asked her. Evelyn completely forgot she gave Ultra a death stare earlier that day. It's a personal matter Ultra, she says to you, stress out. I didn't know it was because of something personal. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't meant to bring up something personal to you, you tell her, feeling bad for yourself. There was a reason she gave you a death stare, but I guess I'll just let it slide for now. What class are you in? First Ultra. Evelyn asked. Class UH35. Heroic skills training, you tell her. No way, so am I got asked to head to the office. I thought I was in trouble but really I had to tour a Sonic fan around the school, she tells you. Where'd you get Sonic fan from? You ask her as you both walk to class. Max told me you liked Sonic and the fact that most of your appearance is blue and that you have Sonic in your name, she says with a silly tone. Makes sense, I have blue on me because it's my favorite color, love. And the Sonic in my name was that I was named Ultrasonic. I don't know where that name came from, I tell Evelyn. We both arrive at the classroom and we both enter. It wasn't as busy as I thought it'd be. There wasn't anyone there until the class came back from wherever the fuck they went. Even to this day I don't know where they were while Evelyn was showing me around. AU, where were you? Evelyn, the teacher asks Evelyn. I notice she pulls her personality from before again. I could understand that she hated this teacher. I got called to the principal's office, and it's none of your business, she scolds him. Jesus, her attitude was quite hot and I loved it. God, what was I thinking? Appearance and personality aren't the only things to worry about right now. As for you, where the fuck were you? You were supposed to be here at 9. It's currently 9:45, the teacher yells at me. I don't flinch at his comment. Well, it ain't my problem, Do you always yell at everyone that gets late? Even to students that don't know where the class is, or I say confidently. Everyone including the teacher laughs at my comeback until me and Evelyn hear a voice. Oh, is this the hotties? Boyfriend, a voice says. Seriously, it's only the first day and I've just got me and Evelyn into an argument with a kid that I don't know of. Hottie has a name, thank you, I yell, standing up for Evelyn. Evelyn was surprised at my responsive reaction. Whoa, calm down kid. I'm not here to fight, the boy teen replies. I look back at Evelyn and she looked like she was about to snap. I look back at the boy. If I were you, I'd be running away for your own safety, I warned him as he started walking away. I sigh and hug her. When this is over, I want to talk to you on the rooftop about something, love, I tell her, and she looks in my emerald green eyes. At the end of the day, I go up to the rooftop to talk to Evelyn about something. It wasn't anything personal, of course. She asked me to hang out with her and Max, and I agreed since I could get to know her better. Yo Ultra, Evelyn says to me, hugging me from behind. Hey Eve, you good, love, I ask her. Yo, I'm alright, what did you want to talk about, she asks. It's about earlier when I got called Hottie's boyfriend. Do you always have to put up with that shit, I ask her, trying to not offend her. She nods sadly and I knew it. People were simping her. Oh. I know that feeling, love. Simps. An example of people who won't leave you the hell alone and force you to date them. Maybe not force, but I don't get to finish my sentence before Evelyn strokes my smooth blue hair. Thanks for standing up for me, handsome, she tells you before planting a kiss on your cheek. You hold her upper arm tightly. Oh, it was nothing. Anything for a friend, you tell her. She steps back a little. What do you think of me? Do you find me cute, or she asks as she rubs your backhand. Cute. You're more than cute. You're the entire package, a very attractive one, you tell her before she starts flustering a little. Grabbing your hand tightly. Eve, you say to her. Yeah, she asked, but not fully looking at you. It's not just looks that make someone fall for someone, it's your attitude and your personality. Your personality and attitude when I was with you earlier is kind of hot, you tell her as you bring her in closer to you, with both your bodies touching each other. You could feel her heartbeat pound on your chest and she could feel yours through her chest. God, Evelyn, I wish I could stay like this forever. With our bodies I get cut off by her breath on my neck. Eve, I ask her with me shivering. Well, what are you doing? Shut up, you dork. She demands me to be quiet before she gave a light bite onto my neck. I could feel her entire tongue rubbing on my neck. My cheeks begin to warm up and I'm going redder by the minute. After about 10 seconds she lets my neck go and looks deep into my eyes again. It was like seeing a diamond in a jewelry store, but not sure whether to get it or not. Guys, come quick, you're missing the best part. I hear a voice and it's Max. Me and Evelyn are as red as crimson and I can't even look at either. Max, what the fuck, I yell at him for ruining our moment anyway. Why did you lovebirds take so? Max asks before being cut off by a pissed of Evelyn. You piece of dog shit, we were having a beautiful moment here and you just have to fucking ruin it, she screamed. Well, that was smooth and she looked pretty hot in my eyes with that attitude of hers. She wouldn't be easy to handle if I piss her off. Okay. Seems like it's just a normal day in Electronics Center, I say to myself, not until Evelyn turns her head towards me. Want me to bite your neck harder, Ultra? She threatens me with a creepy look on her face. Jesus, not even 24 hours have passed and I get asked if she wants to bite my neck again like earlier. I know, I yell quickly. If I knew her, she would probably sink her teeth into my neck. I wouldn't mind it, but it would hurt like hell and I am not interested into that kind of shit, nor was I interested into her yet. She hummed doubtfully at my response. Well, I don't blame you, kiddo. I kind of did lose a little bit of control there, she tells me, trying to comfort my mood. I wasn't intending to bite your neck, Blue, yeah. It didn't look intentional. You know, hands down, honestly. You're a pretty cute girl, you know, I tell her platonically. She was really sweet. I didn't fancy her or anything. At least not yet. Evelyn took the hint of my tone and knew I was only being platonic. AWW, thanks Ultra, she says to me softly and hugs me. What I didn't see what Evelyn giving Max a death stare since she knew he was a bit of a simp and liked to ship her with others. Same goes for me as well. We both break our hug and I then saw Max absolutely terrified and I knew what was up. You still haven't changed, Maximum. Me and Evelyn say in sync. All three of us head outside to a nearby park by AU High. We had actually intended to help Evelyn and I know each other better. What about Max though? Well, he already knew Evelyn at that point, so he didn't need to talk to Evelyn as much as me and her. She was sitting on my lap a bit, but not fully. Jesus, what the hell was with this woman? She's as more of a simp as Max. She was actually incredibly light and it was like a feather on my thigh. Hey Ultra, I always wondered. Why did people in the past test on matter users? Me and Max went tense as it was something neither of us wanted to talk about. She took the hint that this wasn't a thing that we both liked answering. Okay, seems like it's something bad. I won't force you both to answer. Me, she says to us before getting off my lap and me getting up myself from the bench I was sitting on. I grab out my notebook and Evelyn notices it. Dreams of the future? What's that meant to be, love? It's meant to be a dairy based on all the superpowers matter users I've ran into so far. I've got a few matter users listed here too. I show her a page of a power that a matter user I had fought against while I was breaking down the illegal lab operations that were there. It mostly consisted of a person that could manipulate concrete and flames. They were tough as hell and I could have died against that matter user. New notification. Matter user dairy added. Dairy. Matter users are beings that are capable of manipulating one or more different kinds of matter, including plasma and pixels. The powerhouse of a matter user depends on how much training and experience they've had. Since I've been freeing people from corrupt labs, this was something I didn't understand very well, at least until now. Known aspects and passive abilities: energy projection, immune to all kinds of diseases, self-healing, elemental manipulation, energy manipulation, energy drainage and more, currently unknown. Dairy entry over. If I ever become a matter user, love, I'd want to be able to manipulate electricity and pixels from any kind of game. You tell her and she gives you a comforting smile. You know, I found something out the other day, before you came here. Max and I found out that you have a matter gene, which is what you need to become one. I was shocked. I mean, I just never thought you as well as Max could be matter users. She tells you and you are absolutely shocked with surprise. See, could this be why the principal accepted me, you ask? Probably. I don't know. I don't even know if that was the reason he accepted you, Ultra. But I'm glad you can fight your dream. While I'm stuck being a powerless hot girl to be, see, she replies, but I put my finger on her lip. You are not powerless. You've already done so much for us both. Besides, I couldn't just let that freak simp you all over again. Wait. A freak simped on her, Max asks. Yeah, I got called hot, his boyfriend. Guy should have picked a better name, Max. I then see Evelyn blushing cutely and tries to hide her blush. Something started filling up inside of me. But something else. Evelyn's POV. When I was still talking to Max, I noticed something was off about Ultra. Something had begun flowing around his body that I almost didn't realize until it was blue. Max, Ultra, I tell the both of them in fear as I knew what was about to happen. Eve, what's wrong? Ultra asks and I begin stepping away from Ultra, preparing for the worst. Ultra, your body, Max yells out, and without even a second to waste, Ultra suddenly dashes away from me and Max, and I can see him freaking out and his face was full of fear. Ultra, I yell out and I try to run to him, but Max grabs both my wrists. Evelyn, stop. You're just gonna get yourself hurt, like you wouldn't know. It's not like you had anyone else with you. Max take a deep breath and looks at me dead in the eyes. Eve, I know you're worried about him, I am as well. But it's too risky since his body will just instantly attack you. I then remembered a flashback when one of my friends got their powers. I attempted to help them and their bodies just acted on their own and attacked me. It's best you just let him deal with this. But I'm not letting him out of your sight over how worried you are. Come on, he said before walking away. I didn't want to leave him there suffering, but I didn't have a choice. It's either that or I'd get hurt again. I follow him up a rooftop to watch everything unfold and I felt my own heart beating I could feel my cheeks get warm, but I was also worried about him. Cause if he gets into a fight, he wouldn't stand a chance. Hey Maximum, yeah. Evelyn, has Ultra joined the AU club yet? Or hell, even no clubs exist in the school? No, he doesn't even know about them yet. I'll message him just so he knows if you were wondering. He replies before whipping out his phone and starts messaging Ultra. I looked over his phone and saw the contact name was Sonic Freak. He definitely did look like he was a Sonic OC. A few seconds later he replied back to Max saying that he never knew and might get into one. I look back at Ultra from the rooftop and dash to another building's rooftop. Max followed me as well. Eve, you gotta be careful before people find out about your secret, he tells me worried. You said you weren't gonna let him out my sight, right? I reply, and he just looked like his whole life was a lie. Why is he going into the Hall of Heroes? That place hasn't even been opened since the labs were taken down, I ask myself. I look at him with my beating heart and my warm cheeks, but it gets even more hotter. Max seems to notice my blush. Is someone simping on Ultra? Max teased as I go even more red to the point where I want to beat the shit out of him. This rain was making everything hell. As my clothes got wet I would be jiggling more than before. But I remember what Ultra said to be cute. You're more than cute. You're the entire package, a very attractive one. I go full red at the memory since he was basically calling me hot. Does someone leave? Max gets cut off by a crashing sound near the Hall of Heroes and I see two figures. One of the roof and one on the ground. This shit was about to get ugly. Shit. He's taken contact. I think Max yells out quietly. This was either gonna end up pretty well or very bad. If I had to, I would interfere since there was a roof AC beside